We'll go from one black comedic legend to another. Eddie Murphy is back, man.
Back
in a big way. If you don't know, you should know. Dolemite Is My Name has dropped on Netflix.
Go watch that thing.
It's the latest movie from Eddie Murphy. Oh, that's all I can say is watch it. Just watch it, right?
Yeah. So this is the first R-rated movie that he has been in since 1999's life. And he actually dedicated this movie to Charlie Murphy.
Has it been that long?
He hasn't been in an R-rated movie since 1999.
Oh, my goodness.
Isn't that crazy to hear?
20 years R-rated movie from Eddie Murphy? I mean, that's insane. And he dedicated
to Charlie Murphy, yep.
Wow, man.
It's just crazy.
It's
so
really crazy.
Dolemite, if no one has ever seen Dolemite, by the way, Dolemite is on Amazon Prime right now. If you have Amazon Prime.
The original Dolemite,
The
right?
original Dolemite.
This is actually based on a true story.
Dolemite Is My Name is actually a biographical film.
This is not just like some over the top.
Yeah, this ain't something random.
This really happened.
This is an actual biopic.
Yeah.
And so Dolemite, for those who don't know, is one of the greatest blaxploitation films of all time.
For sure.
If you ever seen Black Dynamite, it's pretty much based off Dolemite. So a lot of people, when they hear blaxploitation, a lot of people say Shaft created it, right? But there's all these movies in between, right, there that were blaxploitation films, but they're all kind of leveled, right? Like they all have like this seriousness to them, and they're all, they're blaxploitation. But Dolemite was the silliest,
just most
kung
over the
fu
top.
badass, over the top, and this is where not only again Black Dynamite is born, and people using clips from Dolemite in their songs, like all the time. But in fact, if you ever listen to Room 25, No Name uses a clip from this movie at the beginning of the song Blaxploitation.
What happened to my $100, Joe? Nigga, did you take my money?
That's right, little bitch.
This is also the birth of Dolemite Is My Name.
Yep.
Again, Dolemite, Rudy Ray Moore. Just an amazing film.
Yeah,
man.
it's really an amazing film. And, Rudy Ray Moore, he hasn't been talked about as much because, it is, blaxploitation movies when they came out, obviously they fulfilled much more of a niche, sort of genre film. Like, they obviously were targeted to black moviegoers. And so Rudy Ray Moore, I mean, he has an incredible story. I think, this movie, it checks so many boxes. Like, the cast is incredible. It's stacked.
Wild.
I'm not even gonna go through it. You should just watch it.
Just watch the movie.
How many legends are in this movie? And not only is it hilarious, I laughed legitimately so many times throughout the movie. But also the story is inspirational too.
It is,
right?
especially. So I purposely watched the first Dolemite and Dolemite Is My Name back to back, or pretty much back to back, right? Maybe like a day difference, and after you watch the first Dolemite, you're like, this is the greatest.
It's the greatest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Film I've ever seen. But when you see the actual reasoning behind it in Dolemite Is My Name, it really pulls everything together. From understanding that Rudy Ray Moore wasn't at the best spot in his life, right? Where apparently there was still this gaze in movies, no matter what kind of movie it was, that you couldn't be a certain weight in a movie, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of people, I don't know, he just wanted to do what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was low budget at the time.
Right.
Because I'm watching an old movie in my mind, right? I'm like, oh, everything's going to be low budget. But no, apparently this is like the lowest of low budget films that you can get at the time too.
Yeah.
And 100%. It was just putting all those pieces together and watching Dolemite Is My Name was definitely rewarding.
Yeah, it's a movie about making movies, right? And really how difficult it is to make movies, especially when people don't believe in your own vision, right? And it talks so much about that. But Rudy Ray Moore is a man who had incredible perseverance. He believed in himself. He believed in his vision, and he didn't stop until he saw it through. And I think that's ultimately what I walked away from it with. Even beyond the comedy and the laughs and the over-the-top nature of Dolemite and, what that character sort of represents on screen, just behind the scenes, like what he went through to get this made. I respect it so much, and I learned so much about him as a person. And I just got to shout out Eddie Murphy, too. Like, he wanted to make this, he tried making this movie for 15 years.
Crazy.
He wanted to make this movie a long time ago, but Rudy Ray Moore, he initially was just like, nah, nobody's going to go see that. Nobody wants to see, me talk about my life and how I tried to make this movie. And Eddie made a funny joke that when he he initially asked, it was around that time where he made like Pluto Nash, and so
oh wow,
Rudy Ray Moore was probably like,
you're
not hot right now. Like I'm not about to do this. But like I think this speaks to like where Eddie is in his career. Like it's funny because it's sort of. It doesn't necessarily mimic where Eddie is in his career right now, but I saw some parallels, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I definitely saw some parallels with where Eddie has been on his, sort of movie career journey and where he is now and where he plans to go in the next couple of years compared to Rudy Ray Moore, because, Eddie, the fact that you just said that he hasn't made a rated R movie in 20 years is crazy. That's really where he shined a lot in his comedy, right? Like making like rated R comedies, adult comedies. And he's done a lot of different projects over the past like 10, 15 years. A lot of them have not been successful,
right?
But we're starting to see this resurgence of Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, like if this is any indication of what he's about to bring us,
he's on his way.
These coming years, I'm excited for this resurgence. I really am.
Saturday Night Live is coming in December. He's hosting that for the first time since he left the show in the 80s, in the early 80s. Saturday Night Live really kind of kickstarted his career. He saved the show. A lot of people recognize that he single-handedly saved that show because the ratings were terrible.
Yeah.
Nobody watched it, but then this young upstart, Eddie Murphy, came along and completely saved the show. He'll be back in December. He has Coming to America 2 coming out next year.
It's one of my favorite movies ever.
Yeah,
so I feel like if it's anything like Dolemite, the energy.
Yeah.
Oh man, we're in for a treat.
I think it will be because it's the same director, so it's gonna be. I think a lot of that same spirit. I have high hopes for it.
Especially a lot of people are talking about some nods for Dolemite potentially.
I wouldn't be surprised.
A couple for your considerations, man.
I wouldn't be surprised, man. It is really good.
It's really, really, really good.
And then ultimately, like Eddie's not been shy about this. This is leading to a return to stand-up comedy, which he has also not done.
I'm ready.
30, 35 years.
Yeah, he's been talking about some of his old stand-up jokes, which he's matured from, right? Like he's been looking at some stuff, and he's kind of gave us some insight. Like, man, I wish I wouldn't have said that back then.
Right.
But he acknowledges it, right?
Yeah.
Every comedian doesn't do that. And not only is he acknowledging, like, man, I was kind of problematic a little bit, but he's like doing it again. Like he's coming back, you know what I mean, with all those thoughts in mind, it's some more mature comedy, man. And I'm excited for it.
I tell you what, if Eddie Murphy goes on a comedy tour, well, my ass is there.
Boy.
I'm telling you, guaranteed.
Right
like
there.
I will do whatever it takes to get a ticket into there. So that's what we think about Dolemite Is My Name. It's on Netflix right now, so there's really no reason not to watch it.
Just please watch it. Again, if you need to, watch Dolemite first on Prime Video. It is, I'm telling you, it's super rewarding.
It's worth it.
Movie's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it.
But Dolemite Is My Name, y'all.
100%. Go check it out.